You're live. Don't know if this is going to work, but hey ho, it might work. Right, if any of you can see me now, just say I am on. Might be totally and utterly off air, but hey ho, am I had that there. Hey, there we go. Can you hear us? I can see you. Can you hear us? Maybe not. Maybe not. It's saying it's picking up. Got a microphone option down there. Maybe not. It's saying it's picking up. Got a microphone option down there. Let's have a look here. Right, so this is the first time I've actually used the webcam on this computer now, and it's saying it's picking up the sound. It might be, it might not, but yeah, it just doesn't like me at the moment. There we go. Nope. Tell you what, we'll stuff with that. We'll see if it's going to work now. But like I say, I'm just going to be kind of having this live stream. I'm going to try and keep it weekly, bi-weekly, so every 2 weeks on a Sunday, hopefully about the same time. I'll hopefully catch everybody in all the time zones, but that's a bit hard to do because some people will be in totally the wrong time zone to actually watch the video, but hey ho, you should be able to catch up. Now, like I say, it's just kind of basically any questions, watches, anything, and I've basically got 40 odd watches in front of us now, so whatever you want to see, you can see, or any questions you've got. The first one I've got is Baselworld's actually being cancelled, which I just found out the other day, which is a bit annoying. I was hoping Tudor were going to release a few things. A bit of a garbled picture when you move. It might be, I don't know with the internet. I don't know if it's my internet or otherwise. I've got like 70 meg, so it should actually be fine. But if you do get a garbled picture, please bear with that. If you can hear us though, that's all right. But like I say, any questions at all. But like, the one I was going for is I was actually watching somebody on about Baselworld being cancelled of this virus that's going around, as you all know, which is it's put a kind of a stop on things. A lot of people, I think it's been redone for 2021, but I've got a sneaky suspicion a lot of the watch brands will actually already have released the models by then for it actually showing in 2021. Do you have any new purchases in mind? I've actually just bought one today. If you want a good deal, there's on mass drop at this moment in time. There's an Argon, I forgot what it is now, FT42 or something like that for $99, which in Great British pounds is something like 80 quid or something like that. It's an absolute steal. I'll get stung by taxes, no doubt, so I'll have to pay another 22 quid. But 47mm dive watch. It's got the lugs are actually the lug to lug bit smaller because it's actually within the watch. And it's got an NH36 movement in. They look quite good. I've bought a bright lime green model with red accents, which is just a total bad fashion design par. But yeah, that's my next purchase that I've actually got. 1963 Chrono. Oh, one of these. Do you know what? The 1963 Seagull Chrono is a absolutely stealer watch, and I'm actually finding these around the place at £139, which for a mechanical chronograph is just an absolute steal. You'll not find anything else anyway. I've had to actually do a service on this one though, because straight out the factory, they're not actually that well lubricated. They're pretty dry on the inside. Which the actual chrono function stopped, so I had to strip it, oil it, and it seems to actually be working quite well now. But if you do want a mechanical chronograph, these Seagulls are the way to go, and the quality of them, like I say, this one did need oiling a bit, but I've heard mixed bags depending on which actual supply you go to, if you actually get a dog or you get a good one. But I've got a slight dog there. It's working all right now, and I've had it for a year. Can't say I've had any complaints, but if you want a decent chrono though, the best one that this was actually my first decent Seagull that I got, which was an SMA 411, and these are absolutely great. They're a great pick up and go watch because obviously the quartz, you just pick it up, you don't have to worry, it's absolute steal. Now, if you can find one as well, try and get the actual 413 version, because these are rare as hen teeth. Yeah, if you pick up and go chrono one of these, if you do want a nice cheap mechanical chrono, get the Seagull 1963. They are great. Do a mod anything, I mod everything. The reason why I've got a name, I've actually got a Facebook page, and I do modding for quite a lot of people. I'm quite shocked how many, and I got into it because I couldn't find a watchmaker that would actually do the mods for us. And this was actually one of my very first ones, which is my SKX 007 Stealth, which I absolutely adore. I do have an original 007 because you can't really get rid of them. You can't get better than a stock SKX 007 full stock. But yes, that's one of my mods. I've got a Helm Dollar mod there that's totally clear coated in a chameleon green, as you can see there. That's an absolutely lovely one. It took us an age to get that sorted, but it was sorted at the end there. Which other ones do I have at this moment in time that are modded? I think most of them actually. Oh, that's another one. Blue Turtle ceramic inserts. Most of these all got NH35 and 36 moons, and that's actually up for sale on eBay at the moment. That's actually, hopefully the auction's going to finish tomorrow. That's a 55 fathom mod I did. Ceramic insert. That's a Happy Sushi case. That's a very nice watch, but I need to sell watches to fund them, because like I say, I'm going to pick up the camera now, because like I say, I've got absolute ton of watches right there in front of us. That's my kind of case of, that's only some of them mine, that's my pick up and go watch case. And at this moment in time, we're actually planning on moving, so I've got all my watches, or the majority of watches in there, so I can just pick up and grab at this moment in time. So that's a modern thing. Yes, I do quite a bit of modern. Oh, there's a little 7002 mod I did as well. That's one of my old ones. But yeah, I do quite like it. It puts me on touch on things. Was that an argon you were talking about? FedEx tried to rob you, handling charge, but if you have email, I send them force. Yes, I've went on mass drops. One of my clients actually, I've got a few of his watches here. I'm doing a couple of upgrades on a few of his SKXs. He went and says, "Oh, I've just spent so much money on an argon, this dive watch," and I saw it and I thought, at $99, that's going to be a steal, especially in pounds, like say 80 quid. I'm going to pay at the end of the day, once I put taxes and stuff on, around about £110. But for an NH36 dive watch moving 300 metres actually for an argon, I think normally about 300 quid. That's not actually too bad of a buy. So it's the first time I've used mass drop, so we'll see how it goes. However, I'm actually doing first for everything, because I've actually bought a couple of watches off AliExpress, such as that Fingine. If you haven't seen the review, go and have a look at it. And I've just recently bought this Pagani design homage of a sub. And do you know what? This watch is absolutely great. I paid 60 quid for it. I've had it on the wrist for, I think when I first got it, 4 days non-stop. It's an absolutely lovely watch. But I'm starting, like I say, I'm not, but the most expensive watches I've got in my collection are actually my Tudors. So I've got my GMT, which is at this moment in time away for warranty because of the date issue, which I'm a bit peed off at. And I've got my Black Bay 58, which I don't have on the table. It's actually in my bedroom, but my wife and the little one's actually sleeping there. She'll shoot me if I go in to grab any of my more prestigious watches, which I keep in my bedroom. Yeah, my life's not worth the expensive watches to go in and sneak in, but yeah, but I'm tending to go towards the actual like Helm dollars and Pagani designs where you can get a whole lot more watch for your money. Because like I say, that Pagani design, if that had a brand such as a Seiko logo on it, or a Citizen, you'd be paying a lot more money for it. And to be honest, the way Seiko are going with the watches is absolutely stupid. I was actually planning on getting the new Frost. They're doing a Frost tuner, which is a bit like my Yellowfin here. Which, when I picked this up for £250, it's got to be 2.5 years ago, and brand new, I've got all the labels, everything. However, they've released a version of this with a Frost dial, and it's just, they're wanting 600 quid for it, and there's nothing changed spec-wise, it's just got a different dial and a different setting. It's absolutely horrendous. Anyway, let's read some more of the comments. CD, it's great. Yes, like I say, I haven't actually had anything to do. I'll just, if I get pronunciations wrong, I'm totally sorry. I'm very, very dyslexic, which is bad when you're reading quite quickly and I don't have my glasses. But again, it's great. I haven't had anything to do with CW, actually. Have you seen the Royal Oak version? No, I haven't. I'll have to actually have a look at that. Somebody was going on about that the other day. I might be offending a few people here, but I haven't been a fan of the Royal Oaks. I don't know why. Somebody actually at work has a full-fledged Royal Oak, and I've had a hold of it, and just I can't get away with it. But that might be sacrilege from a watch guy. But I'm not just a big kind of fan of that. Ops, it's gone blank. Oh, I don't know. Is that me? Am I still on or not? Please, like I say, keep updating if the stream's still going, because like I say, for me, I can see the preview, it looks fine from my end, but obviously what you're getting at your end could be totally different. You could be watching something totally else, maybe better. But still black out. Let's have a look. Can you hear us? That's more the other thing. Or can you all hear us? You must be anyway. I'll continue. Just keep us updated on that one. Tell you one thing that I did buy the other day, which I think was the cutest watch ever. And I think, I say cute, that makes me very effeminate, but I actually picked up one of these, which was a 4205014. I've got visual and audio, so sorry, Time UK. The good thing is you don't have to look at my mug, because to be honest, it's not the best thing to look at. I can see comments, not the stream. They must be different for certain people. So yeah, like I say, it might just be you and you can't see us, but hopefully it'll come on. Try refreshing the page. Yeah, I'll try that. Try refreshing. There we go. Just in case they can't see us. But I bought this the other day, and this watch is actually a Seiko dive watch from the 80s, and it was actually was it 34 mil, 36 mil, and I thought I have to have that. It's just so good looking. And back. There we go. So it must be just a refresh. I think sometimes it does that, it doesn't catch up. But somebody was going on about the argument that the SKX 013 was the smallest Seiko diver, but this one actually isn't certified as an ISO diver, but you know, it is still nice to have. It's more classed as a woman's diver, but anyway. Like I say, keep those questions rolling, because like I say, that's what we're going. I'm just going to go on about. I'll just keep ranting about the watches. This is my latest purchase, actually, from I got it from eBay. It's another Seiko Monster, which has been quite abused, as you can see here. And I actually picked it up for the bracelet. The auction on eBay was actually just for the bracelet, which another one of my Monsters has actually gone on. And he says, and literally the auction said working head. And I thought, what's a working head? And when I actually looked in, he says, oh, I've actually got the head. It still fully works and all that. It's just I'm a paint and it's covered in overspray. And I thought, I'm going to have a go at that and see how I can go. It's running plus 10 seconds a day. You can't really go wrong. And I paid 130 quid for this, and Monsters are going up in value like nobody's business. It's a bit tattered around the edges, but I think I quite like the look, so I'm going to try and de-gunk that at some point, hopefully over this weekend, and crack on with that. But yeah, I am a big Monster fan. This will be my 6th Monster. If you include me tuner, it's not. I'm back. I'm on the iPad tech issues. So it wasn't me. I was going to blame it fully on me, but Time the UK is back. Just as I was watching, I was Celine Driver the other night on live stream, and I had to refresh my stream around about 3 times during the hour just because my computer just didn't decide to cope with it. It was an absolute pain in the backside. But like I say, we'll just crack on. So if anyone's got any questions, like I say, I've got a whole ton of watches here if you want to see any of me other kind of collections. I'm wearing at this moment in time, I've got a Zelos GMT Horizon on, as this is actually the Aventrine, which was a special from the Zelos Timekeepers, which is very, very nice. I was lucky to get my hands on this, actually. One of my customers lent it to me, and I kind of fell in love with it, and we made a deal with some of the mod work I was doing, and I kind of gave them a very, very big discount, and he gave us this in exchange. Absolutely lovely watch, and if you want one of these, they still do the bronze version in green and blue. I think they're still available on Zelos' site, and they fit so nicely. They've got a 2893 movement in, and for the price you pay for it, it's, like I say, it's Swiss quality, and Zelos do absolutely, if you haven't heard of Zelos, they do absolutely amazing watches. This is the Mako V3 with a lovely kind of swirly dial on it. I've never seen a dial like this before in my life, and it's, I would dare say this is one of the best dials I've actually I've got in my collection. This and the other Aventrine, these are the 2 best dials in my collection. They're both Zelos's. Went to Red Bar event last week, not decided if I'm returning. What's the status of the luxury watch challenge? The luxury watch challenge. Well, firstly, I've never been to a Red Bar event. I want to, but the problem is with me, I'm a bit kind of off the cuff, and I might upset a few people, but I've got plenty of watches I can take to it. But not decided if I'm returning. I'm going to have a try. I want to have a go one, but you might as well give it a second go, see what you think. What's the status on the luxury watch challenge? Well, I'm actually part way through editing the video, and this is. I'm going to give you a sneak peek. The three that are on here. This is actually it. Complete with a new rubber strap. I've managed to get the dial all fixated, and like I say, I'll go through the full process on the video, but I'll give you a closer look at it now. I don't know how far the camera will actually pick up on that, but as you can see, the dial is perfectly straight now. But for 100, I think I paid, like I say, 160 quid, this watch new was over £1,000, and it's working pretty much the day as it was came out of the factory. It does need a service, but it's not too bad. It's livable. But to get a basically a fully working 2892 movement for that price is a shocker. I did get a pile of people comment on the Calvin Klein, which I literally put it up and I thought, great, this video is going to be great. I've just picked up a Swiss watch at this price, and piles of people came back going, oh, you can get a Calvin Klein with a ETA, I forgot what was it, 2832 movement in it, 2836 movement, and I looked and went, oh god. But basically, Calvin Klein made a watch that nobody wanted, because watch guys didn't want it because it had Calvin Klein on it, and the average Joe who liked Calvin Klein didn't want it because it was 750 quid. Which kind of priced them out the mark. But the watch itself, I've had a look, I've tried to get my hands on one, but they're all sold out, is good. But yes, that watch is a very nice orange. I am a big fan of orange watches, because I've got my first gen Orange Monster, I have got my second gen Orange Monster, I have got my modified Orange Monster. I do absolutely adore Orange Monsters. There's one that I do want. There's if you no doubt many of you have seen Doxa. And yet again, Saloon Driver's got one. He was on. If you haven't actually looked up Saloon Driver, have a look. He does a great watch channel. He's doing quite well, and he had a pile of Doxas, but Doxa actually make I think the best orange dive watches you can get. I haven't had my hands on one though, which I really, really want. But in the UK, they're actually very hard to come by. They're not sold that readily, or you can't just walk in somewhere and try one on, which is what I would want. But I do need some more. I do need a Doxa in my life. But like I say, a luxury watch collection at this moment in time is, I'm putting it on the back burner now. Like I say, when I'm going for the bit of the budget brands, because I'm trying to move house at the moment, so I'm keeping most of my finances kind of down on the low. Other than little watches like at 100 quid and stuff like that I keep finding and not telling the missus. She'll find out soon enough, but she's just given up. The other thing is I fund my kind of watch collecting through my watch modding, so all the money that I don't actually get that much money through my watch modding. I do it as a hobby, and it's just the fact of I put it out to people, so I don't actually overly collect watches, because I would like have hundreds now if I kind of kept all the watches I modded, but it's all good and dandy. So out there, the question for you is, which has been you've already Time in the UK has already said what his latest purchase might be. What's going to be your next purchase actually? What is the watch you're hankering over at this moment in time? I'm going to say the one I'm actually hankering over at this moment in time is, even though I've just brought it up back then, is that Seiko Tuna Frost. However, I just can't bring myself to pay 500-600 quid on the Japanese limited for basically a watch that I picked up a few years ago for 250 quid, which doesn't have an upgraded movement, still got the 4R36 movement in it. It's just basically, it's got a fancy dial that looks like Frost, but yeah, it's one of those things. Maybe buy some bust ones and repair. If I'm honest, that is I find a lot of enjoyment buying bust watches. I actually don't have it upstairs, but the bigger brother of this one, I've got a 4205 015 I picked up for basically a tenner, and I basically stripped the movement in. For a tenner, I could pick up a new movement, 30 quid, but I thought I'm going to strip the movement, put it back together, and I actually did it, and it worked quite well. I think in the end I actually put an NH05 movement in it. But I've got two of them watches. I think one I put the NH35 and the other one I actually repaired the movement. I was quite chuffed with that. But this one's going to be my next one. I'm going to have to service this one because it's running a bit poorly. But I can honestly see you can get some great deals out there. If you even, like this one here, this watch, like I say, even on the second-hand market now, if you pick this watch up and it was fully worked and repaired, maybe with the box and papers, it would be 500 quid. However, looking at it, it was just a dial feet had snapped. That was literally all that had gone wrong. So all I did was take the movement off. I didn't even take the hands off. And I took some M3 double-sided tape that you would get on a bezel insert. You get it with the bezel inserts when you get aftermarket bezels. Cut a little bit off that and just put 4 bits around the actual circumference of the movement holder and stuck it down. And these are actually better than dial feet because they're not as rigid. So if you do drop the watch or anything like that, it gives the dial a bit of give. The thing is with dial feet, they don't have any give. So if you get any shock, they snap off, and that's when you get the rotating dial. But it's an easy fix. May I ask her, which watch originally started you off as a watch enthusiast? That's a hard one. I know which one I started fully on. The first proper one that I actually got, well, I'm going to show you two. The first one I actually got was this G-Shock, which is obviously, I've forgotten the code of this one, but it's basically one of the more common G-Shocks. I lost it for a year, packed it away in a tent, and then found it the year later when I actually unpacked the tent and was still working a dream. This was my first big purchase, but that was literally just a tool watch to do with work. I've still got it, still love it, but at the time I didn't really know much about watches. But my first real one was my SNA 411. And I bought this because I was hankering over a Breitling. I was hankering over a Breitling Navitimer, and at the time I wasn't going to splash out on basically a massively expensive Breitling when I was just getting into it, and this was the next best thing. It was a busy dial, lovely watch, and I've still got, like I say, I've got the 413 there as well, but that was the one that started us off badly into watch collecting, and I bought that off the back of something happened in my life, I'm just going to say that, and basically I bought that to kind of remember it. Like I say, it was negative and positive at the same time, and I also wore that watch during the birth of my first son, so it's got some sentimental value quite a bit for there. But that was the very first watch that I actually got into the whole kind of watch collecting theme. The first watch that I actually did mod-wise was the Stealth SKX, and that's what I got. And the reason why I got into it was I got all the parts, and I went to a watchmaker. Well, I say a watchmaker, a person that puts watches together around here, and he said, I can't do it, the specialist parts, yada, yada, yada. And I went to another one, he said exactly the same thing, and quoted as stupid, I think it was 300 quid. So I thought, it can't be that hard. I went through 3 handsets, putting that together and all that, but now I can put one, I can mod a watch within 2 hours. John Blue, let's have a look here. Undecided on a 36mm Smith's Everest Expedition. I have a 40mm, but I have also got a 33 Everest. Also looked at a quartz. Last purchase was the blue with sapphire bezel insert. You can't go wrong with a sapphire bezel insert. I've only got one watch that actually has a sapphire bezel insert, but they do look quite... This is actually a prototype. You can't actually pick these up at the moment in time. The actual guy's still doing them. That's a Pearl Watch Diver. It won't be different to that, but I do like that. A 36mm on a 7 3/4 inch wrist would be... See, I'm lucky. I say I'm lucky. I do wear big watches. I've got a Zeos Hammerhead 2 there, and I've got a Breitling Super Ocean. And in technical terms, I've got very small wrists at 6 3/4. So basically, you are an inch bigger than me, which, the extra inches is always a good thing. But 36mm might be a bit. I have a 40mm, yeah. But the thing is with small watches, and this is this is one of the reasons I bought this one, this 36mm Seiko, was the fact of if I stick that on a NATO strap and I'm working on the back of a ship, or on the job, I can wear this, it'll be comfortable, I'll forget about it, but I'm more than comfortably not going to knock it about or anything like that, and it's also quite water resistant, and like I say, when you're on the back of a ship trying to work on some kit, that's what you need, especially when it's chucking it down with rain and stuff like that. Water resistance as well, it does come into it, but the extreme water resistance of these watches don't come into it, but hey ho. Very interesting, many thanks, no problem. Like I say, a 36 or a 30... Like I say, you wear what you want, and honestly, I've got some watches that must look stupid on my small wrists, like I say, but I like wearing the watches. And if they're comfortable to wear, I don't give two monkeys about people. And like I say, a lot of my watches I can't fit under the cuff. It's just what it is. But like I say, for my wrist size, if I'm going to say the perfect watch size, is around about 40 to 42 millimeters, such as this. However, lug to lug is obviously, as you know, a big thing. So, like I say, this Hammerhead 2, which is a Zelos, is a 40. I think it's was it 46, 48 millimeter case, but it's got a lug to lug at 48 millimeters, so it fits on the wrist absolutely superbly. But if you look at the thickness of that, I think it's around about 16, 17 mil thick. It's absolute monster. Yeah, again, that's a prototype. The actual proper ones have a helium escape valve there, but Mr. Elshin would very kindly enough give us that one to do a review on and basically let us keep it. So I'm more than over the moon with that. And if you haven't had a Zelos, if you haven't looked at a Zelos, have a look at a Zelos. They're absolutely amazing for what the money is. And there's a big range coming out this year, and I would highly recommend going over Zelos/Elshin's site. I'm currently fancying a grey or white face. Do you know, I was never a white or grey face watch fan until I got my Breitling. I should have brought it down, but ever since I got my Breitling and I looked at it's like got a champagne kind of white face on it. I've fallen in love in white face watches. I can't really say it's a white face actually, but the 1968 there, the Seagull has a lovely champagne kind of light face. I think the closest thing I've got onto is at the moment is my lovely little Seiko SNA 413. That's a absolutely beautiful dial. It's busy, don't get me wrong. It's very American flaggish, but yeah, it's that's the closest thing I've got to the watch dial. Let's have a look. Fancy grey dial. I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist, fine 40 mil impossible. Is that impossible as in too big or too small? I'm guessing too big by the sign there. Yeah, see, I find 40 mil I find 40 millimeters quite nice, but like I say, it totally depends on the lug to lug. I'm in the majority though. Like I say, Jip, I've got to be in the majority because I say I wear it. As long as a watch feels comfortable, I wear it, and I don't really give two monkeys about what less than 40 mil. Yeah, so basically you want less than 40 mil, but like there's plenty of other watches out there because I think over the most of the present years the big watch fad has come in, and I quite like it. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's kind of put paid to a lot of the smaller watch brands. Like I say, the best one. The tour watch especially is the SKX 013. That's an absolute great watch if you like watches under 40 millimeters. And this isn't mine, by the way. This is actually a client I'm doing a mod on. But yeah, these are a great watch if you're looking for a small little tour watch. They're lovely. But at the end of the day, you can pull off quite a lot of dress watches as well, because there's a lot of lovely dress watches that are on the smaller size. That's like I say, I'm trying to think last time I wore like anything sub 38 millimeter. I think my Tudor BB58's the last thing I wore that was really, really small. Currently gone chunky with the BB Harrods. That's as big as I go. Have you got so you got Black Bay Harrods? Do you know what? If I had the inclination to get it before I went with the two I've got, there's a big story with why I ended up with those two. I was only ever meant to have one Tudor, but I ended up with the two. But I really do like the BB. That's a collectible. At the end of the day, out of all of the Tudor range, I think it's the Harrods and the Butcher, the blue Butcher bronze one. That's the one. I have seen a review on your channel now. You say yes, I have. But they are a lovely watch, but they're on the big side. They're the same size as the GMT, because like I say, that's the closest thing I've got on that size. I mean, I didn't think I was actually going to like the size of the watch, because when I put in my request to be on the waiting list for BB58, my Tudor, I actually ended up trying on a full-size Black Bay, and I thought, it's a bit big for us, but when the Tudor GMT came in, it actually fit quite nicely, but it was on a NATO, not on a steel. But the thing is with the GMT, which a lot of people don't realise, which is different from the normal Black Bay series, the chamfers on them are a bit more extreme. So on smaller wrists, the chamfers on the top kind of make it fit slightly better with the GMT. I don't know how true it is, but I've had two in my hands, and the chamfers do look a bit more kind of chamfered on the actual GMT. No bronze watches for me. I believe they will fall out of favour in the next few years. And do you know what? I can totally agree with you. However, sitting in front of us, I've got one, two. So I've got me hammerhead. I've got me turtle, me helm dollar turtle. If you haven't got a helm dollars are absolutely great make. I've got my bronze SKX there, which is yet again another helm dollar that's getting modded soon. I'm hopefully going to put a meteorite dial in that. I've got a meteorite dial coming for that. However, one of the big things of me getting one diving watches and two getting bronze watches is I'm actually in the subsea industry. I'm a subsea hydraulics engineer, so I work at depth, but I also work with bronze material like that. So it's a nice thing to have on my wrist. That and see, I use that in my work. I love it. But in all honesty, I can guarantee that all bronze watches at some point people are going to fall out. It's a fad, and that pain me to say, but it means I'm going to get a pile of bronze watches in 2 years that are going to be bottom end cheap, which I'll love. At the red bar, raid on the GMT and the super case sub, and the sub was spectacular. Do you know what? I can't get away with subs. I've had a few in hand. I've had a GMT 2 in hand, which if I was going to get one, I would get one of them. The Submariners are. Don't get me wrong. If the price was not $7,000, it's just the fact of the matter is I can go down and get the Pagani, and that. Don't get me wrong. The finish and the fit is nowhere near Rolex, but at the end of the day, it feels just the same. The other thing is that shocked me. I wore that for 4 days, and over those 4 days, I got 3 people ask. Basically say nice Rolex. I got one ask if it's a fake, and I got another one ask basically how much did you spend for it, thinking they're all Rolexes. And this is the thing I don't like about Rolexes, is the fact of I can go down the street with that Pagani on to the average Joe, they look at my wrist and I'm wearing a Hulk. I actually had, one of them did say, oh, nice, I'm having a Hulk. And I went to them going, it's not. And when I said how much it was like, well, why do people pay $14,000 for a watch that, to be off a glance, looks exactly the same? And that's what just gets me. But at the end of the day, it's this Instagram kind of forward, I've got a Rolex. It's the brand you're buying into, not the watch, which is weird. This is why, like I say, my Black Bay going back to get its warranty done. The fact of the matter is they're living on the name. They're living off the fact of the actual Rolex name. And they're not getting anything done because they're that big. They don't have to cater for the small people, even though it's a big fuck-up, put it politely, from Tudor's part. But they should be taking care of the customers, but they're that big. They don't have an issue. Put it this way, like Rolex, you get, like my watch is going to Tudor/Rolex because a lot of them are actually getting fixed at Rolex. It could be away for 4 months. However, I had an issue with my bronze turtle from Helm Dollar. I got on to them via an email, and they actually sent us out, I think there was a click spring I had on this, took it away, it was snapped. They sent us out a click spring within 2 weeks, and I fixed it. They were actually going to take the watch back, give us a refund. I said, no, just give us a click spring. I'm not going to actually hinder you with that. I can fix them. But it just seems the more expense you put into a brand, the less they care about the customers because of how big they are. And that's Rolex, that's Tudor. And this is where I'm starting to fancy the more micro brands such as Zelos. Zelos, I actually talk to Elshin, not regularly, but I do pass an email to him. He'll get back to us in a day. And he's into his watches and he cares for his people. And that's what you want in a watch. And the quality of them that's coming out is second to none with these very small watchmakers. But like I say, people who spend the money. The other thing is, this isn't my watch. I've actually got it. It technically is my watch, but it's not technically my watch. And as you can see there, you're looking at a deep sea Rolex. You think you're looking at a deep sea Rolex. It's not. This is actually a fake. And it's not a super fake, but it is a very, very, very good quality fake. It's around about £250. I'm actually... The guy wanted us to change the movement in this, and I said it was basically pointless, and he said keep the watch Bennett, which I'm going to do. However, I'm going to do a few things with it. I've got a few videos coming up with this in it. However, that there, in all honesty, quality-wise, on the outside, is pretty much dead on, not far off Rolex. The quality is excellent. The thing that gets me about these is if the fakers who make these watches actually just give it a different dial with a different name and called it a micro brand or a homage, they would sell. They would sell quite a bit. But the problem is they've got such a market with people who can't afford Rolexes but want the bravado, which is what they get. That's the majority of people I meet go around with Daytonas and Submariners on, not for the fact of the like horology or the like the watch. It's because they know the brand looks expensive, and that's what they want to show. And I just totally detest that. It's not me. Like I say, that's why I've got into Tudors. I go through work, and nobody at work knows what a Tudor is. So I walk around in Vito and still feel like I've got a decent watch on my wrist. But it just bugs us with the whole Rolex thing. If I'm not, other than a vintage Rolex, I don't think I'll ever own a Rolex. Money is sheer madness, though. It is. But like I say, some people are laughing now because they bought $7,000 Submariners and they're now paying 15 grand on the second-hand market. Which, to be honest, good on them. If you can flip them, you can flip them. Money's money at the end of the day. The folks who do spend that much money on Rolex, no doubt about it. Anyways, the other thing that annoys me, and to be honest, and this is why I don't kind of snub people with no watch that no matter what watch they've got, I don't snub them. I'm just the average guy, but at some point I was hanging around with £100 Seikos on my wrist. However, I would treat them with respect. Not if one of them got a scratch on, I would feel absolutely crap. I would. Sorry for the language, it might come out a few bits, but I would feel terrible that I scratched me £100 watch. However, there was people going around with Rolexes on the wrist who were getting them scratched up, beaten up, and basically just saying, "Oh, it's just a chuck away watch." And you're sitting there going, "Give it to me, I'll be fine with a scratched Rolex. I'll fix it up in no time." But hey ho, you would fill me with that. Well, that's personal. It is my favourite watch of all my watches. I didn't get my hands on one, if I'm honest. I had one in the shop, and like I say, I didn't want to go for a deep dive watch because I had me Super Ocean upstairs, and I thought that was going to tickle that fancy for a bit. However, the left-hand crowned version of that watch is just absolutely spot on, and the actual flexi clasp it's got on, I wish that came with the black base because that is absolutely great. It just, the faff you have trying to size a bracelet half the time and then it expands, contracts throughout the day, having that little bit of flexing is what you need. Made a Tudor North flag in my life. I find them very unique. The North flag is, if I didn't go for, put it this way, if I didn't go for my GMT, I would have gone for a North flag. I wished I did now after all the issues, but I can't do that now because the link it's got with me, it's going to have to stay. I'm hoping they don't just exchange the watch, which I've heard a lot of people are getting. They're just getting new watches. They aren't even bothering changing the movements. However, the thing I like about the North flag is it's unique. The thing I don't like about it is the lugs. Those lugs are just weird. But in all honesty, I think I would just keep it on the strap. I tend to keep the more expensive watches on their straps. It's just me. However, I've got a bit of a thing for see-through case backs, and just having a look at that Tudor movement in there, it is absolutely spot on, and it looks so nice. And yellow and black is a colour scheme I absolutely love. I'm going to actually be doing a yellow and black build of an SKX soon, which I'm hopefully going to sell on. But that's one colour scheme. Yellow and black, red and black. I do like green and black as well. Anything in black. Black goes with anything, and I do love black. It's just black case of scratch up to anything, but I would have a North flag if I had the money. Purse strings do ease off over a bit. Is that a negative thing? As in the ease off, does it get a bit loose on the wrist over a period of time then? Oh, sorry, I've got a frog in my throat. More whiskey. You can't beat whiskey. And also, thank you for sticking with us. I've only got 2 people at the moment in time. I'm guessing it's John Blue and Time in the UK. But like I say, it's good just chatting to like-minded people half the time because where I work and actually the people I'm with, other than my dad quite likes watches. There's not actually many people into watches around here, which is quite surprising. But you see a lot of people that do have expensive watches on the wrist, and you ask them about them, and they don't have a clue, which is another annoying fact. But it shows too. Watching it does, like you say, even if there was one person watching, I would still do the thing. I'm going to keep them for an hour long, and I'm going to try and do them regularly, and hopefully they'll come up. But like you say, it's just nice having a chat with people of the same ilk, and obviously, like you say, Time in the UK, you do a great job, Jeff Young. Like you say, you're helping us build my channel, and that's all you want. I love my SKX 009. Do you know what? It's one watch I've got I've actually got a 009 here, which yet again I'm putting an NH36 movement upgrade and that in the sapphire crystal. It's just come through today, and I need to get one of those. But the prices of them, they're absolutely daft. Ever since they've said they've been discontinued, people are going crazy for them. It's like when I picked up this here. This is my 007. It didn't come with a box or anything. Came on the very poor Jubilee. But when I got that, I paid £125 second hand for that. I polished it up, came up great. However, people are wanting 200, 250 quid for these just because people have said they're discontinued. Don't get me wrong, I would pay 250 quid over a Seiko 5 because I absolutely detest those now. I had them in hand, I can see where Seiko were going, but Seiko just going down the pan in my mind, but hey ho. Still on the standard strap. Is that the Jubilee? Have you got it on the Jubilee standard strap? I can't get away with Seiko Jubilees. They're just a bit, dare say, cheap, but I do like a good Jubilee. The guy actually, wait there, tell you a good one to try. And this is another watch that this guy actually sent us. And it's the same bracelet I've got in my Tudor GMT. And this is obviously an SKX 013. And he's got one of the strap code riveted bracelets on. It looks quite nice on it. It does actually suit the watch quite well. Straight end links, but I'm sure you can get the SKX variant of the end link, and it is quite good. Let's have a look there. Still on the standard strap. What watch do you wear for work? I'm also an engineer, so I've taken using a vintage Smith pocket watch from into scraps in my watch. Do you know what? I've actually got a pocket watch upstairs that I got from mate, but the watches I see, my job takes us everywhere because, like I say, I basically build subsea vehicles, so basically vehicles that can basically dig trenches to lay fibre optic cable on the seabed. So these are massive 2 megawatt vehicles that are driven from a ship. So I can either be sitting at my desk designing kit, and the next day I can be sitting on the dockside installing a bit of kit. Next day I could be out at sea trying to actually fix the kit. Now, if I'm sitting at my desk and I know at my desk I'll have any watch, I basically wear a different watch every day of the week unless I'm testing one for review, such as, like I say, at the moment in time it was that Panigale. But the one that I take out on the ships is this. Okay, I think this is a Casio G-Shock GWM 4000. I've had this for 6 years now, and it's solar powered. It's got GMT function in it, so if I'm away, I can set it to basically 2 time zones. It's radio controlled as well, so basically as soon as I set it, this thing just keeps time. I don't have to worry about it, and it's been beaten, scratched, and everything. It doesn't show one bit, and this is the watch I wear out and about. The second one that I do, if it's a bit more of a big job, because that's a big watch, I put on the good old square G-Shock there. That's me kind of go-to watch for the bigger jobs where I'm climbing about. If it's just seeing a client and stuff, I wear the big one on the ships. But yeah. However, mechanically, and it sounds bad because you wear a watch and you should really wear it in any scenario, but like I say, I do care a lot about my mechanical watches, so I tend not to stick them on my wrist on the ship. I am a bit of a, if I'm in a meeting with some of the clients, I will put on my Tudors or my Breitling, and I shouldn't do it. I shouldn't have that kind of thing of a need to show that I've got some kind of expensive watch to show off too, but it's just kind of built in. It's just human nature to do it, especially when they're coming in with like Omega Seamasters and Rolex subs. I would have an Omega Seamaster. That's one watch I would love, but I just feel they're a bit too... Again, it's a common watch. I don't like the commonality. Like I say, the watch I've got on there, this Horizons GMT from Zelos, there's only 100 of these in the world. Now, like I say, I'm not going to meet another person on the street wearing one of these, and it's just such a fabulous watch. But that's kind of where I go. Those are the watches I wear anyway. Main ones are the G-Shocks, but if I'm at my desk, it can be any watch in my collection. Let's have a look here. I got it regulated to about a minute a day. Do you know... Yet again, this is another thing I tend to do, and I shouldn't, because it shouldn't really matter, but every watch I get through, I stick on my timograph and I regulated. The majority of them watches in that box are under plus 10 seconds a day. Easy. And it's good to have. Like I say, mechanical watches at the end of the day, they are an outdated technology. We just have them because they've got some life to them. Like I say, I like the fact, especially with my automatics, and this is the way I think of it. Physics-wise, you cannot destroy energy. And if you've got an automatic watch on your wrist or even a manual wind, you're putting energy into that. And this is a bit of a morbid way to think about it. Don't get me wrong, but stay with me. But let's say I was wearing this watch. This is an automatic, and I fall down dead. this watch is going to have power in it for another 48 hours. That technically is still me powering it because that was in that watch, which I think is quite a sobering thought. And I think I like the idea of saying, look, until that watch, as soon as that watch dies and the energy out of that watch is gone, mourn us for that amount of time. After that, have a happy life. And that's literally one of the things I love about the mechanical watches. I'm putting something in me into that, which I've never thought about. I don't think many people think about it that way, but that's what I like. Let's have a off to the pub for watch spotting. Last time I saw a Bell and Rose. Yeah, again, I haven't seen many of those about actually, but like I say, up here and like I say, the circles I kind of mingle with, they're not very much into watches. I wish they were, because like I say, I would love somebody to kind of geek on about. I would love a second person in my watch videos actually. There's have you ever seen clickbait? I'm guessing a lot of you have seen clickbait, but I absolutely love the format of their videos, and I want to do something very similar. What I want to do is, and I might actually do this, is actually get somebody who knows jack about watches, and I've got a couple of people who don't, and just basically hand them watches and give their initial reviews, what basically they think of them. And I can guarantee if I give them a fake Rolex or the Tudors and things like that, they wouldn't have a clue about what they think, but it gives you the honest opinions, which I think a lot of people do need. Because like I say, when you're, and don't get me wrong, I'm like this as well, I'm a Seiko-holic. I like Seikos, and I am very biased towards them, and that's sometimes what you need to try and get away with. And I know some reviewers out on YouTube are very biased to certain watch manufacturers. I try not to, but I obviously am. Helm Dollar is one of them. I'm very, very bitten by Helm Dollar, but they are doing something that, to be honest, Seiko have stopped doing, and I think Seiko are going down the wrong path. But yeah, Bell and Rose, I haven't seen that many about. Let's have a, have you have an impressive job. I'm dead jealous. I fell into it. Do you know what? I actually trained as an automotive engineer. I'm very heavily into my cars and my motorbikes. I've actually got one in the conservatory just behind the camera there. I've got an A100 motorbike. I've got another 3 in the shed. But I trained as an automotive engineer and then got into hydraulics. And there's nobody in the world at this moment in time training people in hydraulics, but everywhere uses them. So, yeah, and Subsea use hydraulics quite a lot. So I just got into it. Like I say, if you type in, the company I work for is called SMD. If you type in SMD, Soil Machine Dynamics, and have a look at some of their kit, trust us, it is absolutely crazy what we design and do. It's mental for a job that was never meant to be, but yeah, basically subsea cables, ROVs, that sort of thing. But like you say, if you I'm of the thought of if you be coincidences. Like I say, I wouldn't have got the job I'm in now if I didn't know 6 years ago my manager for my very first job, and I wouldn't have gotten the job now if I hadn't been made redundant from that job to get into the job before that. And then basically, yeah, there's a lot of happy coincidences that then make you fall about. I think fate's fate, you just take what happens, and I've kind of got a good draw at the moment in time. Had a few shit things in my life, but you know, you just take it as it goes. Let's have a look there. I'm in the army, in the British Army. Everyone I work with either has a smartwatch or a Casio. And you know, one thing I can't get away with smartwatches, it's a bit of kit in your hand. I do not own a smartwatch. I just don't, but the Casio F91Ws, they are absolutely phenomenal. I've just purchased it, sitting at Argos now, waiting for me to pick us up. I've forgotten what it is now, I'll have to see, but you know, the 14 quid, it might be one of them actually, the 14 quid Casios, basically the very robust 100 metre ones. And I'm going to do an oil mod on it. So I know it's a bit overdone, but I've always fancied a hydro mod where you basically fill the case full of oil, basically, and it actually it compensates the watch. It actually gives it a higher depth rate. And I won't get into the science of it, but there is a reason why people do it. It also looks good. It gives very good visibility of the watch, but they are good. If you Casio F91Ws are a great watch, and like I say, for the everyday watch, that's what you want. Mechanical watch between them, well, you can. So this is the thing with the mechanical watch, like I say, if you're doing hard labour or you're out and about, if you're doing something like the arm where it could get battered and banged and things like that, you are going to affect the time, and you could possibly going to break them. They are, at the end of the day, a ephemeral bit of kit. They are. Best I've seen on a customer are the odd tags, some dates, just the gold and white ones. Yeah. See, tag. I met one, and this is the thing actually, and this gets back into the fake watches. Just when you said tag, I used to deal with a salesman who used to sell hydraulic coolers. I'm not going to give his name; he might be watching. But basically, every time he came in, he either had a Breitling or a tag or anyway. But he came in one day with a Breitling, and it had one of those fake bridges with the actual the image of the watch shown through, so it had the actual balance at the front of the case, which was meant to be, Tibillion, spinny roundy thing. Sorry, I can't get my words out. Tibillion, whatever. But anyway, I looked at it and I thought, that's fake. That is blatantly fake, but you're going around with these watches and he changed them every day and he bragged about having Breitlings and having tags, but the first time, and this is when I started really getting to know my watches, and you would look at it on the wrist and think, you've paid around about 100 quid for that, and you're going around saying it's a £7,000 watch, and it just, I don't like people like that, but yeah. On customers, Seamasters in the offshore industry are the majority of people on a boat will have a Seamaster and they will work with that Seamaster, which I applaud them for. They are meant to be used. Submariners, they're used, but they're more for the people up the top who are sea. To be honest, gold and white gold Dajusts, I see quite a lot of them, but it's more the older kind of people in the 50s, 60s who I see them on, but that's kind of the style that they are. And they're normally around about 36, 38 mil, but yet again, that's harking back to when they did it. I work for a Sportsman TV, people. You generally don't meet the talent. I can't put out it. I get to the stage of this night when I'm tired and words just don't escape me. It's absolutely terrible. Anyway, I'll think it over and I'll say it again anyway. Sportsman, you don't get the talent. See, like I say, I like just talking to general people who don't kind of see watches as a bit of a show item. Don't get me wrong, we all do it. You've got a watch on your wrist, you want people to see it. However, some people just they're in your faces with the Rolexes and the hands are up here in the back there, and they're in positions where they're basically just trying to show off the watch. I don't, literally, the few things I've done is I go in with a t-shirt, I'm just sitting there at the desk, my arms going around, I'm not showing it off, but that's the way people are in today's society. Instagram society, it's who's got better, who's got worse. And at the end of the day, I can guarantee the majority of people out there, the only names they know on watches is Rolex, Omega, and that's basically the two. Tag's the other one, but Tag's basically like I don't know how I feel about Tag. I want to like Tag, but I just can't, if that makes sense. The one, I just can't. There's a few of them that I would have, though. There's a few of the skeleton watches that Tag make that look absolutely phenomenal, but yet again, the one thing that put us off Tag, when I went in to put the deposit down on my Tudor, they actually said for the Tag watches they had in, they took a 50% non-refundable deposit, and that was due to Tag's actual guidelines, which kind of put us off Tag for sure, because I'm not going to put £50 deposit on for a watch that I don't know I'm going to buy. It was just stupid. Sure enough, a Rolex number is begging to be mugged. Yes, it is. To be honest, I'm on two things with that, because I like my watches. I'm also a biker, and the bike kind of crime down there is second to none. My bikes would get nicked in seconds down there. London is a place it sounds bad, it's a place I never want to go, and one of the things that does scare us off is just the crime rates down there, and just the way people just get away with it. It's just rife. It's all over the country, actually. England in a whole is not going in a lot of right directions at the moment, but I'm not going to get into all of that kind of shenanigans now. But that's yet another thing about watches, is if you go down London and you're wearing anything that is recognisable, like the subs and the Rolexes, you go and the chances are somebody will take notice and somebody's going to try and get it off you. And that then kind of takes the argument of, I'm wearing a Rolex to get noticed. You're now trying to wear a watch not to get noticed. So then it kind of puts you in the predicament of you can't show your watch off. It's kind of a catch-22 at the end of the day. Like I say, I'm quite lucky up here because not many people know about watches where I work and where I go. So I can wear some nice watches and people just don't give two monkeys about them. But yeah, that's the thing, showing off in London. But yeah, like I say, it's just stupid. But getting back onto Tag, do any of us like Tag? That's another thing, because like I say, I think it's a bit of a Marmite brand, especially in the luxury brand market. Like I say, I can take them or leave them. I really want some of the skeleton movement Tags, but at the end of the day, they're too much for the name. I just don't like it. Me personally, it's Tudor, Breitling. Those are the kind of the two more up my. Oris, actually, I do like a lot. I want an Oris Aquas in green. That's what I want. However, I don't actually. After buying the two Tudors and trying to move house, I do not have the 1,500 quid to actually get one of them. So hopefully that will come out. Let's have okay, catch up another time. It's been great. Thanks. Last question. USB mic recommended. Yes, I will get a USB mic. Like I say, it's getting close to an hour now, so I'll be logging off soon anyway. But it's great for you all to be here. Like I say, John Blue, time in the UK, Jeff Young. It's been great, and thanks for actually putting up with my chat and my kind of lovely looks. But like I say, please, like I say, just keep watching. There's a lot of videos coming up. I'm doing quite a lot of editing. I will get a USB mic. I do have one. Also, if any is into motorbikes and stuff, I do have another channel called Ginger Geordie Biker. I will use one of the mics out of one of my helmets. I'm actually up to 5,000 subscribers on that at the moment, but I can't do it now. But yes, it's been very nice having this actual live feed, and hopefully next time we'll get a few more people in, like I say, spread the word. It's been much appreciated. I'm going to crack on till 60 minutes. I'm going to make it a round hour. So you've got us for another 4 minutes. But like I say, thanks for being there. I looked at the Aqua Racer, but it's too generic. I have a yellow dial Breitling Avenger Seawolf. I love the yellow dial Breitling. I envy you for that one. That is one of the Breitlings I would absolutely love to have. Like I say, I've got the Super Ocean, the Steelfish. With the white kind of champagne dial with those, it's just got a lovely texture on it. But the Avenger, the yellow dialed Avenger, just looks spot on. I like bright in your face watches, and I don't actually have a yellow faced watch. That might be an excuse to have one. I'm kind of aiming to get every colour of dial in my collection at some point. It's also a boat anchor, but I love it. Well, I think my Breitling weighs 235 grams on the bracelet, sized up to my wrist, so yeah, it's definitely it's definitely a weighty watch. I'm looking at Nortavina until that I was discontinued in the Oris Ward Trident. The Christopher Ward Trident is another. Somebody at work, one of the apprentices at work, has a Trident, and it looks absolutely lovely. I'm actually going to ask him to have a go of it on Monday because I want to see if it wears quite well. If you want a good, it is a lookalike. Helm Dollar do a Trident with a NH36 movement in it. It looks very nice, but it's got a textured wavy dial, and it comes in green, blue, and I think black. Have a look at that. It is very, very nice. It looks good. Even purple and salmon pink. Purple, yes, I would get purple dialed watch. But salmon pink, I'm not a pink guy. I'm not one of the guys who goes around with pink shirts. Yeah, but anyway, see you time UK. Thanks for being here. Like I say, it was good chatting to you, and hopefully I'll be watching a lot more of your videos. I do like your videos, keep them coming, and thanks for being here. Great help, mate. But yeah, even purple and sand pink, yeah, flawed plan. But we'll tell me they're waiting for perfection, flawed plan. Well, we're all waiting for perfection. We're never gonna get there. Trust us. But yeah, you do what you do, and you live what you live. But like I say, but like I say, it's been very good. I'm going to try and keep, like I say, I'm going to try and wrap this up now, but I'm going to try and keep these going every 2 weeks on a Sunday at 8 o'clock. I'm trying to get people's time zones, which is quite hard, being, 12 hours that way, 12 hours that way. I'm dead in the middle, so it's quite hard. So Saturday, I should say. Saturday, 8 o'clock every 2 weeks, I'm going to try and put a live feed on and basically just answer all your questions and so on and so forth. But I'm going to leave you on the note of videos that are coming up. I have the finish off to my luxury watch challenge. As you can see there, it is done. I am just editing the video. I've also got a follow-up on the Helm Dollar Bronze, which I've modded slightly to make it look a tiny bit better. I've got my fix of my little monster here, which I found, which is going to be quite nice / kind of, I'm going to call it the Doomsday build because it's going to look quite battered and scratched, but I'm going to quite like it. I'm also going to do, before I send off, I'm debating whether for my 1,000 subscribers, which I'm going to hit quite quickly by the look of it, I'm going to be doing a watch giveaway. I think I'm going to be modding a watch. So spread the word about that. I will put a video up soon about what watch is going to be given away. This is a watch I'm buying, by the way. I don't actually get watches in. I don't know enough people to actually get watches in to kind of give away without spending money. So I'm actually going to spend a bit of money on a watch and actually pass it to you. It's not going to be much, don't get me wrong, but it is a decent watch. It is a very nice watch. But just keep an eye open for that. So there will be a giveaway very, very soon. I have one of the pink dialed Aragon divers. I hardly wear it, but it's one of the 50, so I keep it. Do you know what? If you've got a watch that, to be honest, is limited run, keep it. You know, you're not going to find another one, and I guarantee you will regret doing it. That's why I like the Z-Losses, because the Z-Losses, that's 100. That's a limited run of 100. That's a limited run of 200. The Hammerhead there, because it's a prototype, doesn't actually have a run number on it. But like I say, I've got an Argon diver coming. I forgot what mate this was. Like I say, have a look on Massdrop at the time. There is an Argon diver on there for $99. It's a steel at the specs. It is a bit big. It's 47mm case diameter, but the lug to lug is actually within the case diameter, so I'm presuming it's going to weigh a bit smaller. So have a look on that. It does look at steel. It's got 4 more days to go, so please do have a look at that if you are into your Argon divers. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Like I say, I'll take it through there. I'll try and get a microphone next time, because like I say, I'm guessing the mic on this laptop is not too good. But like I say, it's been great. As always, like I say, thanks for watching. Like I say, John Blue, Jeff Young, Time in the UK, obviously he's gone. Thank you. And I'll try and keep the watch videos coming, because like I say, I must be doing something right. I've got nearly 900 subscribers now and quite a few views. So, yeah, at the end of the day, thank you. And as always, keep safe, and I shall see you soon. And hopefully I'll meet you back here in 2 weeks' time at the exact time, Saturday. And exact date's going to be 2 weeks on. But anyway, as always, keep safe. I shall see you soon. Bye. And there we go.